again. It's love, it's family, let the fun begin. We're here to connect, bring joy to your day. Style, soul, and stories in a unique way. From New Orleans roots to the world we inspire. Every click, every view takes us higher and higher. This is your space where you can feel free. A community built with authenticity. So grab your coffee, hit play and unwind. Your seat at the table is one of a kind. Like, comment, subscribe. It's your time to shine. Be part of the family, one of a kind. Whether it's your first time or you've been here before, we've got so much love waiting for you and more. Mocha's Nola Bells, where the queens unite. Serving southern charm with a touch of that spice. We're about that love, we're about that style. Come along for the ride and stay for a while. Mocha's Nola Bells, it's the vibe for you. If you're new, pull up, make yourself at home. This is where we vibe, where the bells have grown. And if you're returning, thanks for coming through. We wouldn't be here without queens like you. We're serving you content that uplifts and inspires. From beauty and life hacks to chasing desires. This is more than a channel, it's where magic begins. Together we rise, together we win. Like, comment, subscribe. It's your time to shine. Be part of the family, one of a kind. Whether it's your first time or you've been here before, we've got so much love waiting for you and more. Mocha's Nola Bells, where the queens unite. Serving southern charm with a touch of that spice. We're about that love, we're about that style. Come along for the ride and stay for a while. Mocha's Nola Bells, it's the vibe for you. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Every little click shows how much you care. We're building this space, making something divine. Welcome to the Bells, you're already in line. So if you're new, welcome, glad you stopped by. Into the OG fam, you're the reason we fly. Hit that button, subscribe, and come back again. It's Mocha's Nola Bells, where the magic begins.
Where the fuck she at? Say it loud! NaZiyah Harris!
Mocha and the Nola Bells just pulled up. Big body bitches, Roxy, Annette, Shannon, Marquita. Where the fuck is NaZiyah? Hey, where NaZiyah? That baby was 13. Told her teacher I need to talk, then dipped off the scene. Sick on the floor, y'all ain't even blink. Now she gone and we demand a link.
Where the fuck she?
She cried for help.
So sad.
Y'all played it small. Whole system call, y'all let that girl fall. CPS fake.
That's fake.
The school ain't care. Called y'all up, nobody was there.
We see!
Now she missing. Now y'all press. She been dying inside while y'all just guessed. You failed her. Jarvis lock.
Lock 'em all up!
That's just a start. He know the dirt. He played a part. Shannon, sis, that's still your blood. You sat back till her time was up. Annette, Roxy, Marquita too, y'all moving funny. 4 fat bitches equal dummy. All them calls, all them signs, but y'all kept capping. All of y'all getting time. Annette, you mean spiteful witch? Let that baby suffer with a known-ass pedophile, bitch. Who's that? Nah, Marquita, y'all slow head twins look like pain, bitch. This ain't never gonna end. her time was up. Whole family sick. Annette, Roxy, Marquita too. Y'all moving funny. 4 fat bitches equal dummy. All them
Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy Palm Sunday, should I say. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. I really do. Hope you all had an awesome weekend. Welcome back to MOCA Unfiltered and the NOLA Bells. I appreciate all the love, the concern, and definitely the support. Just know life has been lifing, guys. Just know life has been lifing. Yes, I do get tired. I do get mentally drained. And yes, I have to take a mental break from all of this and not let it consume my life outside of YouTube. And respectfully, I thank each and every one of you that check up on me when I'm not here on live. And also respectfully, I hope that some of you that are here do understand. You know, I just have to separate myself sometimes. And in my absence on yesterday, it was my intentions to come live. And I caught a little bit of Miss Parker's live yesterday, and I said, well, let me take me a little power nap before I go live. And this was like at 4 o'clock. I said, I'll get up about 5:15, 5:20, I'll be ready for my live. When I woke up last night, it was almost 8 o'clock. And then I saw all the calls. And I appreciate you guys. I really do. So yeah, this is MOCA. I'm here. I'm bringing awareness. I'm exposing truths, and I'm debunking lies while being a voice for the voiceless. I don't run off of a rechargeable battery, guys. I don't, and I won't be here all day, every day. It's not about clicks and views for me, nor popularity. It's about bringing awareness and calling people out, no matter who they are or the role that they may play in these cases, to the front of the damn class. So it's either like me, love me, or hate me. I do what I do while riding my own wave. Even if I'm in here alone, I'm going to still ride for what's right. So with that being said, welcome to MOCA Unfiltered and the NOLA Bells. We're raw, y'all. Y'all already know that. Unfiltered in our delivery and exposing the truth. Here, everybody's somebody. All opinions matter and are welcome. We can all respectfully agree to disagree, but we won't ever tolerate disrespect of each other. Our moderators, and damn sure not me, because with no questions asked, you will be timed out 24 hours, 24. So let's get into this. But before we do, I ask that each and every one of you, please hit that like button on your way in, share, subscribe. Make sure you have those notifications set. And remember to please misspell all curse words rather, in the chat. And now, guys, now, let me speak to my good people before we get off into this commentary, because seems like MOCA missed quite a bit. Street T, hey sis, Chrissy, welcome, boo. Christian, hey sister. Christian says, hey sis, hope all is well with you and the family. Missed you yesterday, but I know it can be a lot. Stay blessed. Love you more, Christian. Dr. J, hey sis. Dr. J says, I appreciate your attentiveness to this important matter. God blessings be with you. Thank you, Dr. J. Dr. J, I love you so much. You always have a kind word, a word of encouragement, no matter the situation. Deidre, hey, boo. Hi, Rosemary. Welcome. Happy Sunday, my love. Nene, sister. Nene, I love you, girl. If Nene didn't tell y'all, Nene rang that phone so much last night until she found out MOCA was okay. Sunday Mac, Happy Sunday, sweetheart. Sunday, Mac. Thank you. Thank you for your concern on last night. Thank you so very much. Latanya, welcome. Happy Sunday, my love. Hi, Tracy. Welcome, welcome. Kimberly, welcome, baby. Lily, welcome to the chat. One love. Happy Sunday. Hi, April. Happy Sunday, my love. Hey, Mika and Ellie. Happy Sunday. Lady Leo, hey, boo. Hi, Melinda. Welcome, welcome. Sister Rock. Hey, beautiful. Hi, Arlene. Happy Sunday to you. Look at this girl here. Terrific says, Mocha, we need a note from the president for yesterday. I gave it to you, girl. I gave it to you. Zilla. Hey, neighbor, how are you? Ray of fucking sunshine. Hey, boo. Hey, Hurricane. Happy Sunday to you. Hi, Gina. Welcome to the chat. Patricia, welcome, boo. Welcome. Happy Sunday. Hey, Kimberly, welcome. Welcome, boo. Hi, Michelle. Happy Sunday, my love. Happy Sunday, Roslyn. Sister Living Life. Hey, girl. Hi, Debbie. Welcome, welcome. Look at my beautiful queen spirit. Hey, sister. Happy Sunday to you. Hey, royalty queen. Happy Sunday. Hi, Ann. Welcome, baby. Happy Sunday to you. Amma. Hey, beautiful. Happy Sunday. Hi, thankful. Happy Palm Sunday to you as well. Sunday Mac says, y'all mods are so fuzzy and welcoming. I love it here, Queen Mocha. Thank you, Sunday Mac. And Sunday Mac, we love having you here. We really do. Hi, Nick Pooh. Happy Sunday. And Nick said he's new here. Welcome, welcome. Hey, OG Gardens. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Milky Way girl. Happy Sunday and welcome to the chat. OG Jamel. Welcome, my love. Happy Sunday. Royalty Queen says, I understand the rest from social media. Sometimes you just need it. Sometimes you just need it. You know, with that rest, the mind says go. The heart says go even more. Then your body says sit your ass down. And I'm learning to listen. Patricia, welcome, my love. Happy Sunday. Hey, Sassy. Happy Sunday, sis. Red says, good evening, Mocha. I thought you were on a hot, exclusive date. I was. We were in here knocked the hell out. Hi, Juanita. Welcome, boo. Christian says, we were about to do a welfare check. I know, Christian. I heard about it. I heard, girl. Hi, Auntie Mo. Welcome, boo. Angelique. Hi, beautiful. Welcome. Hey, Sandra. Happy Sunday, my love. Welcome. Hey, Miss Parker. Welcome, sis. Happy Sunday to you. And Miss Parker, I haven't got a chance to do your replay from yesterday, what the part that I didn't catch. But from what I caught, sis, your line of questioning was awesome. You did an amazing job. Hi, Eno. Welcome. Hey, Malika. Welcome, my love. Patricia says, much love from Michigan. Thank you, Patricia. You know we're loving you more. Look at Hurricane in red. Okay, let's see. I don't want to leave nobody out. Let me make sure I get to the bottom. Because y'all look at my girl, Drea. Hey, Drea, happy Sunday, my love. Hey, Shelly, welcome. Happy Palm Sunday to you. Hey, daughter, welcome, boo. Daughter says, hey, everyone. I miss you, Mocha. Glad you got your rest. You're one of the hardest working women. Those of us that appreciate you and love you will be here. Thank you so much, daughter. I appreciate those kind words. I really do. Kim boy. Kim says, knock, knock. Hello, Mocha Mods in chat. Welcome, Kim. Happy Sunday, my love. NYC girl. Hey, boo. Hi, PJ. Welcome. Hey, Rachel. Miss Bill. Happy Sunday, sweetheart. Hey, Chrissy. Chrissy, I'm missing you going live, girl. Hey, Sabria. Welcome. Welcome. Little Miss. Welcome to the chat, my love. Hey, Plaid. Welcome, boo. Welcome. Hi, Top Flight. Welcome to the chat, boo. Happy Sunday. All right, I think I got everybody. Don't want to miss nobody. And hey, darling, happy Sunday. Welcome, boo. Hey, Bridget. Happy Sunday. Be safe. Juanita says she's packing for a trip tomorrow. Be safe, be safe, be safe, sweetheart. Hey, Carla, welcome to the chat, my love. Okay, hi, The Truth, welcome. Hey, Pam. 80s baby, hey, boo. All right, all right, all right. Come on. Hey, God, you're welcome, sis. Okay, guys, I'm to the bottom. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. I'm happy that you all are here. Y'all just don't know what it means when I come here and I see you guys here. You guys uplift me, you know. And I know I've missed a lot. When you take a little time off, it's like you'd have missed a month because the gift keeps on giving. So, guys, tonight, hi, Curtis, welcome. Shanier, welcome, my love. So, I wanted to touch bases on, tonight I just wanted to touch bases on those text messages, because in order to really, really, and I know you guys probably are itchy. I know y'all itchy and y'all want to talk about, y'all want to talk about Evangelist Kenneth. But I didn't hear the entire live. So I can't elaborate on it all. So, bear with me. Give me a little moment to go back and listen to it all. Because from what I heard, baby. But guys, it's been a lot. It's been a lot, y'all. It's been a lot. And we have to backtrack. Miss Sean B, hey baby. We have to backtrack, guys. And we have to start. It's almost like that rabbit hole is taking us all the way back to the beginning to unravel this shit. Because there's a lot of twists, turns. The ball is being fumbled. So it's like when you go through their shit, it's like you pretty much have to call them out on their shit. Like, yes, you said that. Hey, boo banga. Yes, you said that. Yes, is this. Yes, is that. And it's like these people are truly the gift that keeps on giving. And as long as they keep giving us these gifts, we have to sit here and unravel the bow. Then we have to sit here and patiently and carefully unwrap the gift. Because when they speak in codes. They give you just enough. Hey, just Mona. They give you just enough. To whereas here it is, you got to figure out the rest. And then when you come to them with their shit, it's like, okay, I know you said this. Now here it is, I'm going through my notebook and I'm flipping backwards and I'm flipping forwards. All of that trying to find out where you said this. Because baby, Shanier, thank you so much for that super sticker, baby. Great job for your content. Thank you, my love. And so they lie. They don't want you to know they're lying. But yet, they want you to believe that their lie is believable. I don't get these people. I really don't get these people. And in my opinion, and as I've always said, when it goes back to these people, them text messages between Jarvis and supposedly NaZiyah was very, very telling. Of course, TZ, welcome, boo. Of course, NaZiyah was a young girl. Hey, Rhonda. NaZiyah's a young girl, right? And I don't care how much Jarvis groomed NaZiyah. I don't care how much he had groomed her. Those text messages, they were well above any level of grooming Jarvis could have done to NaZiyah. Those text messages, in my opinion, those text messages are Shannon trying to figure out what. Here she is. She's trying to figure out what Jarvis's feelings are for NaZiyah. Hi, Miss O. She's trying to figure out what Colette, welcome. Shannon is trying to figure out Jarvis's feelings towards NaZiyah, which is why those text messages were so mature, where it was so grown. And nobody could make me believe that those text messages were NaZiyah. And I'm going to stand on that. I'm going to stand on that. Chrissy said, well, Street T says, yes, sis, I don't know if you remember a while back. Okay, you was talking to Nene on that one. You were talking to Nene on that one. The truth says, he gonna try to blame Var for the truth. You're talking about the interview yesterday. Girl, I heard that much. I heard that much. But those text messages, guys. Now, I'm not going to say all of those text messages were Shannon's. I would not say that. The text message just stated, go and give her some. Go and give her some and then come back to me. NaZiyah was sick of Shannon. NaZiyah was sick of Shannon. Then the text message that read, when Jarvis made that text and asked her to come out and meet him at 2 o'clock in the morning, guys. 2 o'clock in the morning, right? So she responded, did you ask them? Did you ask them, was it okay? Why was NaZiyah up at 2 o'clock in the morning? Had school the next day. Why was she up at 2 o'clock in the morning? But then in that same text message it said, because clearly there was no permission for her to leave at that time of the morning. When you drop Ziyah off, go park your car around the corner and I'll leave the door open. What? Now, why was Ziyah? Why the hell was Ziyah out with Jarvis that time of the morning? Why? See, these people has a lot of secrets. Secrets that we will never, ever uncover. Ever. Because they're all protecting each other in their own little way. In their own little way. That family has a lot of secrets. A lot of secrets. Secrets that we won't ever know about. Patricia says, but the family is saying she was mature behind her age. Patricia. They were going to say that. And the reason they could say she was mature beyond her age is because they groomed her to be mature beyond her age. Why? Why would Annette give NaZiyah at that young of an age? Why would Annette give NaZiyah the name Glamorous? Why? She was grooming her. She was grooming her to be everything that she wanted her to be. She was grooming her to be with older men. And that's not allegedly. Look at the picture that appeared with her and Eric Gamble. So if she's that mature beyond her age, who made her mature? These people are at fault for a lot of things. Exactly, Juanita. Shannon was playing mind games. She was truly playing mind games with Jarvis. She wanted to know. Hey, Lady JJ, welcome, sister. She was truly playing mind games with Jarvis. Shannon realized at some point that Jarvis had an undeniable sick type of feeling for NaZiyah. That was the point where Shannon couldn't understand her role. So here it is. She's realizing all of this. So she faked the text messages. She pretends to be NaZiyah at some point. And that's where the confusion comes in with all of the electronic devices, telephones and tablets, the communication. So how many phones were really out there? We will never know. We will never know because Shannon had been playing a dangerous game for a long time. We're just hearing about it. But this game has been played for quite some time. Daughter says, Mocha, I feel the same way. I felt disturbed and disgusted reading those messages. They definitely was too mature, definitely. Definitely. There's no way. And you know what's sad? Miss Parker says that's why she went on that weight loss journey. She's going to lose more than that. And you know, it's really sad. Guys, can you please get my likes up? I would really appreciate it. And what's sad is, how do you compete with a child? How? But whether it's here nor there, hi, Kenya doll. Whether here or there, she did it. So with the competing, Shannon, as old as you are, It was those, you see, if we would have not read, personally, if I would have not seen those text messages, right? My take on this probably could have been a lot different when it came to Shannon. Shannon said a lot of things that was very questionable. She really did. Those text messages sealed the deal. And what's more hurtful, as if they've not done enough damage, what's more hurtful is even in this baby's absence, right? Even in her absence, they've not said one decent thing about her. They've not said one decent thing about her. And to make matters worse, in their eyes right now, it's her fault. In their eyes right now, it's her fault. Make it make sense. Shannon, the envy, the jealousy, ridiculous. Ridiculous. And if nothing else, those text messages alone should have been enough to point everybody in the direction of looking at Shannon. Of looking at Shannon. Gotcha says, can't trust that family when describing NaZiyah. Gotcha, we can't. We can't. And Aspen says, no way on this planet would any of my children go out that early. Never. Aspen, you understand? This is too much. Exactly, Meek. Make this shit make sense. It's either one or the other. You can't have it all. You can't have it all. They said she was mature. But Shannon says Tudor was fast. Make it make sense. See, it's the lies they tell. It's the lies they tell. And if you're not listening and you're not focused in on the stories they tell, you're going to miss something. You're definitely going to miss something. Nene, thank you for the super sticker, my love. Where's NaZiyah? No justice, no peace. Miss O says, it makes me so sick when protecting the predator becomes a priority. Miss O. And that's where we are right now, Miss O. They are truly protected. And I'm not only going to say they're protecting Jarvis. We know firsthand Jarvis was a predator. We know that. But Miss O, everyone in that household, everyone that's associated with that family, the people that were in and out of Annette's house, the company they kept, they were all predators. And they all, Miss O, they all had their hands somewhere in this situation, Miss O. I've always said, Jarvis is taking this rap because of Jarvis' rap sheet, because of Jarvis' history. I've been saying this from day one. Who's the better fall guy than Jarvis? When they know that this is the type of shit they've been doing all their lives. They were comfortable. They didn't need encouragement to do what they were doing. They were comfortable. And Shannon proved her jealousy. Shannon proved her disdain and her disgust for NaZiyah. She proved all of that. Not only in her text messages, but in her rants. And then when they were in the trap house, and Mark D just asked a question about being jealous of NaZiyah. And Marquita, who me, not me, jealous of no 13-year-old. What was the purpose for her answering that way? Guilt is a son of a bitch. Guilt is what's eating them up right now. It's a whole lot of shit going on with these people. Nene says if they want to have secrets, then I would shut the fuck up. They come in one at a time with confusing bullshit stories, Nene. Right there. They're sending them one by one, Nene. It's a distraction. It's a distraction because right now, every content creator that's touching this story, we're going down the rabbit hole. And the more characters we pull out, the closer we get. And because we're getting so close, they're bringing all the circus acts in the middle of the ring. So right now, I feel to believe that it's fair to say that we content creators need to brace ourselves and call ourselves the soul circus. Because if we don't call ourselves the soul circus, then what will we call ourselves? Because every clown, every circus act is coming to the forefront. And they coming to the forefront with half-truths. They coming with lies. They coming with confusion. They coming with everything there is to throw us off. And if you're not focused, I promise you, if you're not focused, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it. Ann has a question. Ann wants to know, it makes you wonder what Jarvis really had NaZiyah doing at that hotel. And I'm going to say it again as I said it. Miss Mona's welcome, my love. Ray Rain. No cap, welcome. And I'm going to say it again. Jarvis did not have NaZiyah at that hotel. He did not. That's my opinion. That's the way I see it. And the reason I'm going to say Jarvis did not have NaZiyah at that motel, because the story that has been told and the way it's been told, either Jarvis was a magician or Houdini himself was in that room. Because how could one go in? And how could NaZiyah enter that room according to them? But yet, she was not seen exiting the room. Jarvis did not exit the room with nothing that looks like he was transporting a body. Make it make sense. Jarvis did not take NaZiyah to that motel. And let me tell you this, Ann. Not only did Jarvis not take NaZiyah to that motel, NaZiyah's mother, NaZiyah's biological mother, lady, her permanent address is that very same motel. And being that her permanent address is at that same motel, now it's time to start putting all the pieces together. No matter the stories that the family members or the associates of the family come out and tell, you have to have discernment. You have to have common sense. And you have to be knowledgeable of what's going on here. So, with NaZiyah's birth mother being at that motel, they knew. It's not like they didn't know. Everybody knew that that was where she was. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. But it was some shady stuff going on. Some shady stuff going on. But we're going to get to it. Ms. Parker says the autistic guy as well. That baby was doomed. Exactly, Ms. Parker. Exactly. Juanita says, I believe Annette turned those children into something. She's a sick individual. Juanita. She turned them in. To being liars. She put fear in those children so bad. To even now, I believe those children may not even know how to discern the truth from a lie. Because so much has been embedded in them. And it's a shame. It's a shame. Ms. Buell says, those people are framing what they want outsiders to believe. Mind manipulating the public, and you have those can't think for themselves. Ms. Buell, that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. But I'm not going to say like Ms. Parker. I'm not going. And let me tell you guys, since we're on Lady right now, you remember, guys, weeks and weeks ago, I told you all about Lady not having a word, not having a voice, not speaking up for her daughter. There's a reason behind this. There's a reason behind this. We've called Shannon a monster. We've called Annette a monster. We've called Jarvis many monsters. Right? All we've ever called Lady was a no good, trash ass, absentee mother. That's all we've ever done. We've called her that. But now, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, Lady has a lot to hide. Lady has a lot to hide. Lady is definitely another major player in all of this. When I kept saying over and over and over again, why was NaZiyah's phone pinging at the motel where Lady lived? Y'all wasn't hearing me. Why was NaZiyah's phone pinging at the motel where Lady lived? How did Lady get NaZiyah's phone? Is it possible that Lady got NaZiyah's phone the morning that Annette took Lady with her to report NaZiyah missing? And for Lady to have her hand on that phone, either one or two things happened. Either they willingly gave Lady NaZiyah's phone to include Lady in this bullshit to make her part of the problem, or Lady was in Annette's house and did what a crackhead do and stole the phone. But either way, Lady had NaZiyah's phone. So with Lady being in possession of NaZiyah's phone, it gets deeper with this phone. Lady lied to the investigators in the beginning because they questioned Lady. Lady told them, nope, NaZiyah didn't have no phone. Nope, NaZiyah didn't have no social media account. Nope, I don't know her phone number. But yet the phone pings back to Lady at the motel. If it don't get interesting enough, why would NaZiyah's phone that was in Lady's possession be passed around and touch the hands of so many different people? Shannon had it. Joe Camel ended up with it. But it passed through several people before Joe Camel ended up with the phone. Why? Why? And I believe, and that's how I feel. I believe they gave Lady that phone that morning when Annette went to that motel with her lying ass to pick her up to go report NaZiyah at that school. They set Lady up. I believe they set her up. But let's go. Mika says, I don't know if it was a feeling, infatuation, or just a presence. Shannon was too old. She aged out. Huh. Shannon is pathetic. Oh, shit. Miss Beulah says, Mocha, you're the one person who can get into the mindset of those demons, girl. Girl, I try not to get into their mindset, but I call it like I see it. Sam B, welcome. Kimberly says, with the dysfunction those kids lived in, they were not that smart. Shannon surely was as dumb as a banana in a coconut tree. Shannon was dumb. Shannon was dumb. Shannon has done so many things out of envy, out of hate, out of jealousy, that Shannon don't realize all the shit she's done. She could be going away for a long, long time. Long, long time. Hey, Essie, welcome. Nene, thank you for gifting the membership, my love. She did the truth. She really did. She was very patient. She had more patience than I could ever. Exactly, Chrissy. If Annette didn't care about her own daughter, then she damn sure didn't care about her grands. Now, being that you mentioned her grandchildren, see, that's where we have to listen and debunk a lot of lies. Now, Chad, if I'm wrong, I want you all to correct me. It's like I said, when I'm wrong, I don't mind owning my shit. Now, if I remember correctly, when Jernell and Kawana did their first interview, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Jernell said Annette had 7 children. That's what she said. She also said that lady was Annette's biological daughter. Now, I don't know where this evangelist Kenneth, that has such a good reputation with the family and he's so close and this, that, and the other. Now, that was a little bit of what I heard yesterday. He told Miss Parker she only had 5. He told Miss Parker she had 5. So, why would I not believe what Jernell and Kawana says versus what Kenneth said? Something with Kenneth just wasn't ringing bells for MOCA. Belinda, thank you so very much, my love, for that super sticker. Miss O says, Shannon said something about sharing devices with NaZiyah. She also said she knew NaZiyah's password. Miss O, why would Shannon even be willing to share a device with NaZiyah? I mean, what was your reason? What was the purpose behind that? Was it to keep up with Jarvis? Was it to keep up with what Jarvis had going on with NaZiyah? Shannon is a lot of things, right? Let me tell y'all my take on Shannon. Let me tell y'all my take on Shannon at this point. Mika said Shannon's own words sealed her fate. Her choice of words displayed jealousy and envy. I agree. I agree. I have a problem. They said that when NaZiyah would go to the shop, so would their daughter, right? They so claim every move NaZiyah made, the daughter was there. So why would Shannon take such a big interest in tracking NaZiyah and what she had going on and not tracking her daughter, not tracking Marquita's daughter? What was the obsession? What was the obsession? Shannon is shady as shit. And when I say Shannon is shady as shit, I've said things long, long ago. I stand on it. I stand on it. And when I stand on what I said, we're going to go back to NaZiyah's pregnancy. I've said NaZiyah was pregnant. As much as they came out here with their made up stories, pretending they didn't know, they knew. They all knew. Outside of the house knew, as well as inside the house knew. Shannon more so knew. Shannon was keeping up with NaZiyah's pregnancy as if it was her own. Shannon was never pregnant. I believe that. I always said that. Shannon was big, fat, and nasty looking. Shannon looked pregnant even when she wasn't pregnant. So Shannon faked a pregnancy, all while NaZiyah was carrying a baby. And although Kenneth was dropping some serious gems yesterday in that interview, from what I heard. Again, like I said, I didn't hear it all. From what I gathered, he was dropping serious gems. But there was one thing that he said that I didn't agree with. When he said that Vari's baby was NaZiyah's baby, I can't agree with that. I'm not asking y'all to agree. I'm not asking y'all to disagree. Just telling y'all how MOCA feel. I don't agree with that. I believe things went down in that household I believe things went down in that household the way I've always said it did. Things went sour in Annette's house with Shannon and NaZiyah. And I'm not going to go all into details as to what I think or thought happened. But the end result to everything that took place This is my personal belief. That baby that Shannon went put on child support with Jarvis the day after NaZiyah went missing, that last baby, that's NaZiyah's baby. I don't give a goddamn. That is NaZiyah's baby. Now, if we want to DNA anything, I believe we should DNA Shannon's, the baby that Shannon is claiming is hers. I believe Shannon has NaZiyah's baby. Yes, Miss Parker, girl. I saw the picture. When she first had that baby, she had the baby dressed in blue. I didn't too much buy many stories. Vari gave interviews. He dropped a little bit of this and dropped a little bit of that. Some things I took that Vari said to be true. Other things were very questionable. Vari's interaction with Roxy was very shady. It was very not forthcoming, right? The GoFundMe, the money is for your sister and your niece. And I think that word niece was thrown around so loosely because of all the shit that was going on. It was to throw us off. It's to throw us off. I don't believe that NaZiyah gave birth to a little girl. I do believe NaZiyah had a son. And I believe that son that she has, Shannon is raising it today. This is some wicked shit. Everything that these people is saying, they're saying this shit to throw us off. And if you don't do your own homework, and if you don't investigate the shit yourself, you're going to think these content creators are just saying things on these people. No, we're not. No, we're not. They're giving it to us. They're giving it to us. And everything that they're giving us, you have to use discernment when you accept it. Because it ain't all true. No, hey, love. It ain't all true. Kimberly said she had to set the narrative to set him up. I agree. Those messages was too vulgar from a 13-year-old girl. Shannon is a piece of work. All behind a goddamn man. Shannon is a piece of work. Internet said, hi, Internet. Internet says, I don't know. If you ask me, I think the little girl was smarter than the whole family. She was 2 steps ahead of them. I really don't think Shannon was that smart to text as if she was baby girl. Internet. And I respect your opinion. I will always respect an opinion. But Antoinette, those were messages from Shannon, baby. Lori, that one. Lori says, y'all remember that text? When NaZiyah asked Jarvis if he liked skinny girls. Now, why would NaZiyah ask that? Why would NaZiyah ask that? NaZiyah was slender for her age. NaZiyah wasn't fat. Then Shannon started losing weight, going to the gym around the time of the text. I saw it on her Facebook. Lori, bingo. Bingo, Lori. Lori, that right there was a telltale. Why would you ask him if he likes skinny girls? Why would NaZiyah ask that? That makes no sense. Ooh, Shannon, what a tangled web you've weaved, bitch. Right, Patricia? Shannon is, and you know what's sad? Not only is Shannon blaming the baby, but now they got Kenneth, the evangelist, the man of God, blaming a goddamn child. That's right, and they all knew and turned a blind eye. Hi, Tamiko. Tamiko says, how does a child go from accusing him of SA in 2022, then a full-blown SR with this man the next year? Tamiko, make it make sense. But Tamiko, in 2022, when she was assaulted by him, family members reported this to CPS. It wasn't just her that he touched. It was other children as well in 2022, right? CPS comes back after the child told in 2022. CPS comes back and said that there was no found evidence to support the claim. So when CPS said it was nothing to support it, what was that baby to do? CPS threw her back. CPS threw her in the lion's den. But God has a place for all of those people that bailed that baby. Juanita says everyone wants to play on Jarvis, but they had discussing issues girl. Juanita, say that. I've been saying it. Everyone wants to play on Jarvis, but they had disgusting issues way before Jarvis came into the picture. I believe NaZiyah fell in love with him. Hey, that's it. Juanita, Jarvis fell in love with NaZiyah, and NaZiyah fell in love with Jarvis, and Shannon could not stand it. That family And all the people that they're sending, they're all working together. Because Evangelist said he loved the Harrises. And there's nothing that he wouldn't do for them. Even if it, now, this is me. He said there's nothing that he wouldn't do for them. Now I'm saying to myself, even sit on a platform and lie and make up stories to try to clear them their name, even if it means throwing children under the bus. Because he threw, let me tell you who went under that bus from the little, I gotta go back and listen. I really gotta go back and listen. But from what I heard, yesterday, 3 people was under the bus. The 3 people, evangelists, threw under the bus. Lady, Vari, and NaZiyah. Those were the 3 that he threw under the bus. Shit. Hi, Marianne. Mika says, I don't believe Jarvis will be the only one arrested. Maybe for those charges, but by their own testimonies, they are guilty of other crimes. Tamika, they're guilty of other crimes. And being on social media, running their mouths nonstop, they're guilty. They're guilty. Hi, Sharon. Welcome, my love. Hi, Adjusted. This is crazy. Tamiko says, is it me? Or does the more people attached to the family that speaks out, the more questions we have? Tamiko, baby, at this rate, I don't care how many questions we have. It don't matter at this point how many questions we have. Dealing with these people, we will never get the truth. If you don't do your own homework and you don't wait for the trial itself, you will never get the truth. You won't. Hey, Sharonda, welcome to the channel, my love. Hi, Kalia. Welcome, my love. Exactly, Patricia. They put it out here, but we're the problem. These people lie so much, right? But yet, now, one of the things, I don't know. I don't get it. I can't. Lania says, I can't wait till the trial starts. Shit gonna hit the fan for real. Right now, Jarvis is trying to figure out. Maybe he done figured it out already. What the fuck is really going on? Maybe he done figured it out already. Because the shit that Shannon is doing, let me tell you. And for those of you who have may not heard me say it, I'll say it again briefly. Shannon, Annette, and Marquita were the ones that injured NaZiyah. Let me just get that out of the way. And I'm going to say everything that I say here is allegedly and in my opinion. Shannon, Annette, and Marquita, those were the three that injured NaZiyah. Right? Jarvis was the cleanup man. They called Jarvis to come and clean up the mess they made. Jarvis took NaZiyah away from Annette's home after they'd done what they'd done to NaZiyah in Annette's home. And I believe one of the things that they'd done to NaZiyah in Annette's home, I believe that they took that baby from NaZiyah that night. I believe that. That didn't happen at no hotel. It did not. I also believe when Jarvis took NaZiyah away from Annette's home that night, I believe they expected Jarvis to get rid of NaZiyah. I believe NaZiyah was in pain. I believe NaZiyah was bleeding profusely. I believe they didn't think NaZiyah would survive. So they gave her to Jarvis to get rid of her. That's what I believe. And I also believe now we all have our own beliefs on this. For a long time, I followed the narratives that were out here. The narratives that NaZiyah was no longer here. So then when I got into my discernment, and then when I started digging, started piecing little this and that and piecing together all the players, it's my true belief that NaZiyah is still here. MOCA, where is she? I don't know. But then I also heard, sometimes we have to listen. I also heard the evangelist say he believed NaZiyah was still alive. But then when he was asked, why did he believe she was still alive? He went deep. He tried to ignore that. He tried to ignore answering that, and he started talking about politics and corruption. I'm going to just sit that right there. Because I want to know why he said it. And if you said it, where is she? But one thing he did say, they're looking in all the wrong places. He said NaZiyah is still in Detroit. Yes, Angelique, he laughed. He laughed. And the closer we get, or the closer we think we get because this is some wicked shit. Every time you think you done close one door, 15 more open. 15 more open. He did a whole lot of deflecting. But I'm here for y'all tonight. Ain't what I think. Rain says Kenneth was just repeating everything they told him to say about NaZiyah. Rain, I believe that. Because at some point, while listening, Rain, it appeared somebody was in the background. And the only thing I said about so-called evangelist Kenneth, you coming out here and you saying all what you're saying. Why didn't you go to the police department with your theories? Why did you not reach out to the prosecution if you know all that you know? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Ms. Buell says, according to forensics report, Jarvis was not at the motel. Well, Ms. Buell, if Jarvis was not at that motel, according to forensics reports, that proves everything I've said previously. Because I said he didn't go to no motel. I said it. Because when they went to get video footage from the motel, they were told that the cameras were not operable. They didn't work. So where does the lie come in? Who was it that saw Jarvis go in with NaZiyah? Was it a camera? So the camera saw him go in, but then when they go back to question him, the cameras don't work. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Nene says they think they're smart. The minions that they're sending got to do better with their narratives. Shit. Christian says, I've learned with this case that sometimes you just have to shut your mouth and listen. Christian, you're right. Sometimes you have to just listen. And if you're taking notes, sometimes you have to scratch out things that make you scratch your damn head. Rachel says, when seeing Annette embracing Jarvis at their birthday party, knowing he's not to be around children, and hearing Shannon say she don't care nothing about NaZiyah, I had my blood boiling. They're so guilty. Rachel and Chad. Rachel says when seeing Annette embracing Jarvis at that birthday party, knowing he should not be around children, right? We're going to stop it right there. What makes any of us care that Annette didn't care, knowing Jarvis shouldn't be around children? That's my least worry. You know what worries me even more right now? What worries me even more right now is that biohazard freezer that's in Annette's dining room. That's more sinister. That's more sinister. So having Jarvis around was a piece of cake. That goddamn freezer says it all. Shit. Bitch, what you got a freezer of that magnitude in your house for? What are you hiding? What do you have in that freezer, Annette? No, Annette, better yet, who do you have in that freezer? Who? Girl. So, just for clarification, I don't know how many of you are in here from Detroit. That's from the area in which they come from. Sassy, you're here. Can you clarify whether or not that house is really burned down? Because I remember you and Imperfect were speaking on it at one time. Sassy, did that house really burn down? Because right now, evangelist, I've never heard a man call himself such, but anyway. Evangelist says they're still living in that house. He said they're still living in that house. And everybody else says that Annette is in Ohio with her brother. But this Kenneth person says Annette and Shannon is in that house. So we're going to wait on Sassy and whoever else is in that area that could shine a little light on this and tell us whether or not that house still exists. Red says sometimes you have to mentally unattach NaZiyah from all the bullshit the family is putting out, and you'll see the lies, and they aren't even surrounding her. The lies are surrounding them. Red, that part. That part. Sassy says the house does not look burned down, and it does look lived in. And we mentioned that when we first heard it. Y'all sure did. So, on that part, it appeared that Evangelist was telling the truth. Somebody's living in the house. Sassy said the house is not burned down. Thank you, Sassy. Nene says, but Kenneth did say, and I heard him say that the police department would, the investigators would find all the answers that they need if they would search Annette house up and down. So what's the point? What's the reason, guys, that the police department did not search Annette's house? The house is not burnt. Thank you, Sassy. Hey, Maddie. Maddie says, hello, sweet Mocha, watching you from the hospital. Oh, my God. Maddie, we are praying for you with severe rheumatoid arthritis. Girl, I'm praying for you. I was wondering where you were. In my opinion, those adults, language text messages could never come from 11, 12 years old. Shannon is guilty as hell. Lori says, lady is no good. She's no kind of mother. Lori, she's not. She's not, and we're touching bases on all of them. Lady is no good. She's no kind of mother. Lady had ample opportunities to be a mother to her children. She chose not to. The streets were more important to Lady. She chose not to. Right, Patricia? Patricia said you gotta be able to call a distraction what it is. Hi, Ariana. Welcome, my love. Angelique says right. And there's no way there can't be some type of confused to have her pray 1 minute and then they know her other side the next minute. It's crazy and it's sad. But Angelique, they've conditioned themselves to accept that bullshit. Hey, shit. Hey, girl. Welcome. Welcome, Miss HP. Welcome, boo. The truth. The truth says yes. That man is a distraction. He's sent out to change the narrative and to keep people off Annette and the twins. The truth, that part. And the truth, when he said, I love the Harrises, there's nothing I wouldn't do for them. That was it, and that was all for me. Because to say that, that means you're even willing to lie. So what role did you really play? You come out here and you're throwing Vari under the bus. You're throwing Vari under the bus. We didn't ask about Vari's sexuality. So if you're so confident in telling us about Vari being bisexual and Vari has been touched, now you got MOCA asking herself, what role did you play? Because you know too much. If Vari was touched, how would you know if you didn't do the touching? Or if you wasn't a part of the touching? How would you know that? So my thing is, why would you tell us that on Vari? Are you reaching? Are you reaching? Because you did everything on that panel. Unless I missed it, the parts that I missed, unless I missed it, you did everything except for saying, where's NaZiyah? Hey, Tracy Ellen, welcome. Ms. Beale says, here's my only question and concerns. Lady lives at the motel and the auto shop is right across the street from the motel. Something there doesn't fit right in my thinking. Ms. Beale, let's make it make sense. Let's make it make sense, Ms. Beale. Ms. Beale, now we have to look at this as an operation, as an organization, Ms. Beale. When we look at it as an operation in an organization, Ms. Bew, the Harris family is part of the organization. I'm not leaving not one of them motherfuckers out. Not one. Them poor children. They're part of the organization too. Because they have to dance to Annette's music. They have to abide by her commands. Whatever she says goes. And she's programmed them to lie to the police. She's programmed them to lie to CPS. So the children that's in that house is part of the organization. So Ms. Bill, lady living across the street from the auto shop, don't ever think that lady didn't know what was going on. Now, who's to say? Who is to say when Jarvis Annette, when they were exchanging money for NaZiyah, who's to say it wasn't lady's fucking room they wasn't using? Ladies are part of the fucking problem. Lady has a hand in this in the worst type of way. We didn't want to see it that way. We got to see it that way. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. Mika says in an old interview a while ago, Joe Campbell said she had a cousin that lived in that hotel. And she visited them with other people when she was searching for NaZiyah. She said they told her she was too old. See, Meek? All you have to do is listen. All you have to do is listen. They have put lots of stories out here. Lots of stories. Juanita says they're thinking they're fooling us, but the only people they're fooling is themselves. Ray Charles could see through the bullshit. Gotcha says they're mad. The internet detectives and the psychics are on their case. Nancy Grace could never. Right, Mika, when she said the cousin? That was lady. That was lady. Rock asks, is it possible that Jarvis was sneaking NaZiyah over there to see her mom because the big backs wouldn't? He didn't have to sneak her, Rock. He didn't have to sneak her because lady was not banned from Annette's house. Lady used to go to Annette's house. If Annette had no ties nor any communications whatsoever with lady, how is it that Annette was so comfortable going pick lady up when she reported NaZiyah missing? The lies they tell. The lies they tell. Anita says lady is the key. That's why they won't let her speak. Anita, my theory in all of that has been My theory in all of that has been the clout chasing, the want to be seen, the want to say I got it first, the want to say I did this and I made that happen, right? That's coming from the cousins. And in order for the cousins to be seen in a certain light and not let their lies slap them in the face and not get exposed for the roles that they have played in all of this, instead of allowing their truths to be told, they rather give lady $10 here and $10 there to keep her high as a fucking kite. Lady stays high, lady stays numb. The higher lady stays, the less lady remembers, the less lady is able to talk. So a junkie, a crackhead, she don't care about her daughter. She care about the next hit. That's her weakness. And the more they feed her weakness, the less care and concern she has for her daughter. So at this point, pack up a van and lock all of them the fuck up. Because they've all contributed to us having the conversations we have in a day. Exactly, Justice. She's choosing to stay quiet. Nene, that part, I don't know about the phone. Gotcha. That part, sis. I said it. Gotcha said that family is heavily connected to city officials. Gotcha. They're connected to a kingpin. We're going to start there. They're connected to a kingpin, and the kingpin, the big fish got the elected officials in their back pocket. Got the officials in their back pocket. And that's exactly why shit is raggedy and all over the place. Tamiko says, I like being behind in the chat. Not too much, but I like it. Tamiko says the phone was pinging from the grandmother's house. Tamiko, no, it was not. When it said, Tamiko, that phone was pinging. Oh, Lord, I'm all stopped up. Tamiko, that phone was pinging from her mother's home. Not the grandmother's house, Tamiko. It was pinging from her mother's home, which was the motel. And I think a lot of people got confused when it said grandmother. Y'all probably thought it said mother. I think y'all thought it was meaning Annette. Because lady was never recognized as the mother for a long time. And I think maybe that's where y'all got confused. Exactly. It was pinged from her mother at the motel. Debbie says, I'm not understanding why Annette took lady with her when she said she don't deal with her daughter. Annette, Debbie, she needed an alibi. She needed somebody there. And they knew lady was a crackhead. They knew she was a junkie. So they needed lady in their presence because they needed a decoy. They needed somebody else they could plant some shit on that would distract the world from them. And who's best to do it? Now, I done already set up a pedophile. He got a record. So he's gonna be one of the fall guys. I don't fuck with my daughter because she's a crackhead. So we gonna plant this phone on her and give her some fucked up information to go along with it. I need an alibi. So them bitches threw a lot of people under the bus. And Patricia, that's all what we want to know. Why is that phone not in evidence? Rain says they had to give her a piece to get that phone back. They probably thought she was going to turn them in. But Rain, she probably had to smoke the fuck out of that piece they gave her. Because Rain, when the police first questioned her, she told them NaZiyah didn't have a phone. NaZiyah didn't have social media. There was no phone number she had to contact NaZiyah. But Rain, the police officers went back to that motel and told her, but ma'am, you said she had none of this. But the phone keeps pinging back to here. So Rain, she was fiending at the time. Why the phone kept being turned off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on. Her nerves was bad. Her nerves was fucking bad. Anita says lady should be a suspect. And should. Dr. J says, MOCA, it was all a setup. They set lady up. Just my thoughts. I believe that too, Dr. J. I believe that too. Hey, no cap. Rain says lady know exactly what happened to her daughter. I believe it too. Sassy says, how did her phone ping from Annette's house if she never came home? She had it when he was with King and Sicko. King said she was in the back seat on her phone that night. That's it. That's all, Sassy. But Sassy, we know the phone never pinged from Annette. We know it never pinged from Annette, right? And we know she had the phone when she was with Jarvis and King all night long. But then Sassy, we can't forget. Even though she was with King and Jarvis all night long, when Shannon started calling Jarvis' phone, harassing Jarvis with the tutor and showed up, tutor missing, Jarvis brought NaZiyah back home. And when Jarvis brought NaZiyah back home, remember Sassy? Jarvis brought NaZiyah back home. That's when all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. They called Jarvis after they did everything they did to poor NaZiyah. Jarvis came to be the cleanup man. And NaZiyah's phone was still there. They brought their big dusty asses to sleep that night. The next morning, Annette gets up. She go drive to the motel, pick up lady. Come back the next day. Lady gave Lady NaZiyah phone. That's it. That's all. That's right, Juanita. If that's the case, it was setting Lady up, and that's how we need to look at it. It was a setup. It was a setup. And Lady too cracked out to see it. Debbie says right. Remember, Annette tried to point the finger in Varva's direction too. Well, it was a hell of a story. They had some stories to tell. Not only did they try to pin it on Vari, saying Vari was in a game, right? And it was a game debt that was being paid. That's why NaZiyah was not there. That's what was pinned on Vari. Then it was a drug. Then the way they tried to pin it on Lady. Lady had then stole a large amount of dope from big time drug dealers. That's why NaZiyah came up missing. Because if Lady couldn't go and work off the debt, or if they couldn't find Lady, they was going to get the person that she loved the most, which was NaZiyah. Those are the stories that Annette came up with. And what's fucked up about that, Annette stayed her ugly ass up all night long, her and Shannon, concocting a fucking story to keep the heat off of their ass. And they thought it would just go away just like that. That's what they thought. Exactly, Rock. Everybody who touched that phone should be in jail. I don't give a fuck who you are. Crackhead or no crackhead. You all should be in jail. Hey, podcast. That part, Juanita, we on the same page. Lady JJ says sellers are gang. Who actually said that? Shannon and Annette, Lady JJ, that was the story. That was their initial story. When this story first broke, they said Vari was part of a gang and Vari had violated one of the gang member's sisters. And the gang member told Vari, nigga, so this is the kind of game you want to play? You touch my sister, I got something for yours. Oh, they had the stories. Miss Sean B says, damn, Mocha, you are an hour behind in the chat. Miss Sean B says something is definitely missing because I don't think all their pea-sized brains put together can't be diabolical enough to have law enforcement running in circles as it seems. They're not running in circles. Law enforcement appears to be working with them. I'm not going to ever change my feelings on that. They got the law in their back pocket. Because if they didn't, why the hell are they walking around here the way they're walking around here and still talking? Even after, and that's the fucked up part, even after the investigator told them to shut the fuck up, these people are still talking. So do you think these people are still talking, looking for a mistrial? These people are still talking to throw their shit off because they know their hands are dirty. Rain says you're all was lying about Lady at first, talking about she stayed out of town. Baby, let's talk about it. But too many people seen her in town around the time NaZiyah went missing. Rain, we got confirmation. We got confirmation, Rain. Listen. Rain, when the story first came out, they claimed Lady was in Ohio. That's what Joe Camel said. Lady was in Ohio. And Joe Camel stood on that. But listening to Kenneth said he had a talk. He had a talk with Annette. And he said the family was aware of Lady being in town because he, Evangelist Kenneth, gave Lady a ride to the motel. And after he dropped her off, he informed Annette that he had given her a ride and Lady was safe at the motel because he had dropped her off. They're all in it. They're all in it. So the lies they tell, they're all being debunked. Shannon is a hateful, deceitful bitch. And right now, Miss Mona says, as most of you guys know, I'm not new to our baby girl, but I'm new to hitting chats. Miss Mona's, we welcome you, my love. We welcome you. Everybody, opinions matter, baby. And feel free to speak how you feel. Ann says Jarvis is going to tell on him. He knows if he don't, he'll be in jail, prison forever. Especially on a charge that he ain't got shit to do with. Kimberly, right, Kimberly. Kimberly said they've tried. They have tried to set up alibis. They set her up. And because of his record, Jarvis is sick. Exactly. Exactly. That part. But nothing tickled me more. Evangelist Kenneth says Jarvis has a handicap. He said Jarvis has a handicap. And his handicap was being a pedo. Make this shit make sense. Lord. Miss Mona says you all are amazing and I would love to support. Thank you, Miss Mona's. Miss Mona, they dropped the membership link in the chat and you just have to click on it. Miss Sean B says, There wasn't a restraining order or a stay away order against Lady. Annette only said on the stand that she didn't deal with Lady. That's it and that's all. But yet, not just, before I say that, let me say this. This family is the most carpenters having family I've ever known. It's always somebody in their house painting, hammering, doing drywall, doing the fuck. And it said Lady, along with the work that Jarvis did in Annette's home, Lady was right there with them helping. Shit. Right, Anita? That's a good question. I wonder that too. Who was the CPS worker on Annette case? Because that motherfucker needs to be on stand too. Right, Miss Bill? Right, Kennedy adding up. But he did drop some, he dropped some damn jewels, some valuable ones, if we were listening. Anita asks a question. She says, how did Vari run away so easy? No missing report or nothing. Shady business. Anita. Annette told Vari. See, this is how we know Annette has always been the queen bitch. A scamming bitch. Stealing. Railroading the system. And mistreating children. And Lord only knows what that freeze is for. And I'm going to keep my thoughts on that freezer till I do a little more digging. Anita, when Jarvis left, and that was on Jarvis' first time running away. Not Jarvis, I'm sorry, Vari. That wasn't Vari's first time running away, Anita. When Vari decided to leave for the second time, Annette told Vari, you could leave if you want to. I'm not calling them laws, and you better not either, because you're not going to interrupt my money. That answers your question. That's why no report was made. Some sick shit. Right, Sassy. She shared NaZiyah's phone with hers. That nasty, dirty bitch was snooping. That she was. Hey, no nonsense. Mika says, I watched part of Kenneth's interview. I felt he came out to defend his reputation as well as his relationship with Florentino. He raped Florentino when he was 19 or 18. But if Florentino was 19 or 18, Florentino was grown. Child, all I know is this is one nasty mess. Nasty. Kimberly says, Jarvis' sickness got him caught in the middle to take the fall. Shannon sent those most vulgar messages. Lady's addiction, Shannon's jealousy, and Annette not caring. Girl, say that. That's exactly why we're here. That's exactly why we're here. Jarvis' sickness. And we have to understand Jarvis has been out in these streets running a fucking muck since the age of 14. Living out there trying to make it on his own. Not knowing where he was going to lay his head because he didn't want to listen to the grandmother, didn't want to take orders from his grandmother, so he was out there on the streets. Jarvis had sexual relationships with his mother's friend, 30-something, almost 40-something-year-old woman. Jarvis made his first baby at the age of 14. So now here it is, he's running the streets of Detroit. A lost child who had done got a taste of cat from an old ass lady. He don't know what direction to go into. So he meets up with another pedophile. See, Jarvis was not initially that way, but he met a group of people who were that way, groomed him to become the monster that he turned out to be today. Not only did they groom him, but they employed him within their company. And because Jarvis has been doing their dirty work for so long, taking a fall for them for so long, in and out of jail on charges that possibly wasn't his all that time, they rewarded Jarvis by giving him a shop where the fuck Jarvis was going to get money from to open up his own shop. So Jarvis stayed with them long enough and did so much shit under the cover and just dirty shit. So that was his reward, a shop. Do y'all think Jarvis could have owned the shop? So the mastermind not only got a hold of Jarvis, but now the mastermind controls the Harris's empire as well, while keeping Detroit Police Department on payroll. Everything is just supposed to roll over and go away. But yet, we have to, we sitting up here today and figure out where exactly is NaZiyah. But they know. They know. Travis says, I believe what Kenneth said about NaZiyah, brother, and Eric Gamble. And no, let me start this over. I believe what Kenneth said about NaZiyah, brother, and Eric Gamble's sexuality is true. I believe Eric touched him too. Travis, that household alone makes everything questionable. Everything. It was a party in there. I personally think, see me, Mocha, you always speaking out of damn turn. Always. Because before the good evangelist got on that panel and said what he said about Vari being touched, before he ever said that, Mocha talked too much. Because as I was going down that rabbit hole and looking at the relationship between Vari and his so-say grandmother, and his relationship with the aunts, and his very seldom coming back to check on his sister, Mocha had said there was a reason for Vari running away from them and not wanting to come back to that house of horror. Mocha said long time ago that Vari was touched. And here comes evangelist. But now you have to also ask yourself the question, because evangelist spent a whole lot of time to Annette's house. He told on everybody else, but why is it that evangelist didn't tell on himself? Because from what he said, he spent a whole lot of time there. So if you saw everybody getting misused and abused, and this one touching that one inappropriately, and this one doing that to the next one inappropriately, what role did you play, evangelist? Were you able to hold back your urges? Who did you touch? And lady does know. Hey, Gemini, welcome, boo. Lady definitely knew. Lady has a connection with all the players. With all the players, lady has a connection. You can believe it. Hey, Pie. Lady has a definite connection with the honey gangster. Hey, my love. Lady has a connection. Right, Mika? Her pregnancy was very visible. Very. Sunday Matt says Shannon is just as guilty as Jarvis. And she has to know her day will come. She gotta know. She gotta know. Juanita says, so where was Shannon's daughter when Jarvis and King was dropping the car up in Ypsilanti if Jarvis always picked them both up? Juanita, that day, it was no pick them both up. It was no pick them both up that day. NaZiyah got off the school bus. NaZiyah went home. NaZiyah dropped off her book bag. NaZiyah changed her clothes. Shannon called Jarvis at 3 o'clock, 3:15. Shannon called Jarvis, told Jarvis NaZiyah had made it home. See, Shannon knows what the deal is. Jarvis drove his ass back to Annette's house and picked up NaZiyah. So the lie about NaZiyah walking from her bus stop to wherever the fuck Jarvis was at the shop, that's far-fetched. Far-fetched. Because how could Shannon be in possession of the school laptop? Make it make sense. Of the school tablet, rather. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Eve says, him saying Barbie's baby is NaZiyah's baby gave me a net, told him to say that vibes. Eve, I do believe it was rehearsed. What he said was rehearsed. They did coach it. But there's no way I'm going to ever believe that Barbie's baby is NaZiyah's baby. Shannon baby? Yeah. Barbie? No. Auntie Mo says, girl, Auntie Mo. Auntie Mo says maybe Jarvis is NaZiyah's dad. Ugh. And she was pregnant by her brother. Okay, Miss Auntie Mo. Auntie Mo. Ooh, that's deep. That's deep. But Auntie Mo, let's play with what you're saying with right now. You know me, I got a theory for everything. Some things I don't have an answer for. Some things I be stuck choking and shit on it. But Auntie Mo, this here. Auntie Mo, I don't believe she was pregnant for her brother. That part I personally don't believe. I don't believe that part. But Auntie Mo, the part that says maybe Jarvis is NaZiyah's dad, that speaks volumes. Because Auntie Mo, a couple of nights ago, MOCA said that. And there's a method to my madness, y'all. Really is. And what made me say that is this. I don't believe 5% is NaZiyah's daddy. I believe NaZiyah was pinned on 5%. You look at NaZiyah. Of course, NaZiyah looks a lot like her mom. But if you look at NaZiyah, and if you look at Shannon and Jarvis's daughter, hell, you even got to look at the daughter. Look at all of their children. NaZiyah is identical to all of those children. Hey, Olivia, you're welcome, my love. NaZiyah is identical to all of those children. But I don't believe 5% is a daddy. I don't. The truth says anytime you leave your children with the person who did you wrong as a child, then something is wrong with you. And the truth, you're absolutely right. Exactly, Eve. Eve said it wants us to focus on the left when the right holds the truth. Exactly. Exactly. And again, like I said, Mika, Mika says, I do believe that they were pregnant at the same time. I do think that Shannon had a baby. Mika, Evangelist Kenneth confirmed Shannon was never pregnant. He confirmed Shannon never had a baby. So NaZiyah was the only one pregnant. And as I said before, Shannon's stomach was hanging to the floor. So Shannon often looked pregnant when she wasn't. So it was a scapegoat for her. She had a perfect alibi. Bitch, your stomach already hanging. So it's easy to say I'm with child when she really wasn't. When she really wasn't. Evangelist said Shannon faked the pregnancy. Kimberly says, I'm beginning to wonder if all of Shannon's babies are hers. NaZiyah supposedly was on her third pregnancy. Make it make sense. What happened? Ah, Kimberly say that because that's something I've been wrestling with. I didn't know it was up to number 3, but I was aware that this wasn't her first. So what happened to the babies? What happened to the babies? Well, passion fruit, I guess you won't be back in here again. Oh, Lord. Right, she took it down. She done took the picture down. Juanita says it was said Shannon lost her baby. Mm. I heard that too, Juanita. I heard she lost her baby. I heard she had a little boy. And then here come Kenneth. That was never a baby. Tamiko said the last one told Shank she did see chains on her refrigerator. Then this one told Miss Parker that as well. Don't believe it. But the thing is, what was the purpose for the chains? What was the purpose for the chains? You could chain up food, but you got a whole biohazard freezer sitting up in the middle of your dining room. Make this shit make sense. Y'all, we can't make this shit up. But yet they want to challenge us and call us crazy. No way. Gemini says, yes, I think people are really confused because I didn't know so many didn't know about Tiff Tiff. This is why so many say Jarvis hurt NaZiyah, but he didn't. Gemini, I don't believe he did. I really don't believe he hurt her. Hi, Marcella. Hi, Crystal. Sassy. See, that's what got me stuck. That right there is what got me stuck. And getting a hold. And you can't even be credible with the school in the name of getting the school records with her attendance, because they're not right either. They're not right either. Because there's so many untruths. Sassy says, I can't even believe the dates they gave about her going missing. The clothes and her size don't add up. They don't. They don't. And was OG Jamel, they still have not found her. Hi, Mary. Mika says DNA would tell if Shannon wasn't the mother. Both parents give DNA for paternity. Exactly. And Mika, that's exactly why I'm saying right now, and I've been shouting this for about 2 weeks. Test Shannon's baby. That last baby needs to be tested. And I say that because Evangelist Kenneth came out here and said that NaZiyah's baby was the baby that Jarvis, that Bari had, right? And my thing on that is, no, no, because why would Kawana say that she took Jarvis, I keep calling that child Jarvis, that she took Vari, girlfriend, to doctor's visits? Kawana ain't got no reason to lie. No reason. Nene said both you ladies can't be wrong. You both independently saw the picture, and Miss Park and I sure did. NYC girl says these people are some real true crime monsters, girl. They are. They are. This shit is strange. Drea, thank you for the cash out, my love. These people are insane. Tracy says this is some diabolical shit. Oh, what a web we weave when trying to deceive. Throw the book at all of them, Tracy. All of them. All of them. Ann says Shannon will claim NaZiyah's baby as hers to keep Jarvis from going to jail for impregnating a minor child. We'll see. Right, Miss Parker? Miss Parker says, Nene, I know exactly what I saw. And you told me sis saw it too. I saw it, girl. I saw it. Saw it. House of Horrors. Eve says, Lord Jesus, did they have her deliver that baby at home and she passed? Eve, it's my belief. It's my belief that she did deliver that baby at home. I don't believe she passed. I don't believe she passed. I believe she suffered a lot. I believe she bled a lot, but I don't believe she passed. Right, NYC girl? At that time, Shannon was looking pregnant even when she wasn't. Right, Gemini? Gemini said it's not so much that the texts were graphic, they were just a bunch of fishing texts. Yes, ma'am. Sassy says everything is meant to throw the world off. Hell, they started with throwing the DPD off first. Exactly, Sassy. I love when Miss Parker says that. And now she got me saying it. Behind every lie, there's a story. Behind every lie, there's a story. If only we listen. Hey, try to believe I'm Miss Belinda. Red fucking Sunshine says the truth is woven in between the narrative they're trying to spin. Exactly. Hey, Sabrina. Sabrina says, hey, family in MOCA. I'm late because I had to do my daughter's hair. I agree with you. I don't believe Shannon was pregnant. Her stomach hung low anyway. Facts. That bitch hung low. Patricia says, I worked in the paternity lab. And yes, you do test samples from alleged parents as well as the child. So it will come out if it's not Shannon's child. I pray to God it does. I pray to God it does. Right, honey? That baby look, girl, that baby, ugh. The truth said Kendall was taken up for Jarvis and Annette and the twins, but blaming the kids of helping NaZiyah go missing. That made it the truth. I couldn't stomach hearing him say that. I could not stomach him saying that. And quite naturally, he would agree. Quite naturally, he would agree with everything that they said and everything that they have going on, because he's part of them. Because he got evangelist in his name. Don't ever believe that leopard changed his spots. Never. Gemini says, well, if the children are gone, won't they have to get the baby from Vari to test? Gemini. Shannon still have her children. Still have her children. All of this shit is a horrible process. And we just have to wait on it. Mika says, Belinda, I agree. I think the baby died or is with NaZiyah. If you have a baby at 7 months, the baby will require extensive medical care, in my opinion. I'm in now. Hello. Hi, April. Milky Way says NaZiyah wasn't big at all. No way she'd even think to act something like that. Milky Way, exactly. Why would NaZiyah ask Jarvis if he likes skinny girls? NaZiyah wasn't a big girl at all. Internet says you might just be right. Keep doing what you do. The people need someone like you, I think. I think you do a wonderful job. Thank you, Internet. Thank you. I appreciate those words of encouragement. I do. Damn. Nene said Shannon lost weight like somebody sewed her mouth shut. Damn. Exactly, Novi. Even Jarvis thought it was suspect. Even Jarvis. This shit is crazy. Miss Sean B says, do y'all remember the sexually explicit text from NaZiyah, and Jarvis responded with, huh? As if he was surprised to read that from that baby? Miss Sean B, right. Exactly. He was confused. Shit. And the fucked up part is, we can't make this shit up. Nene stupid. Nene says, well, if she's not going to tell us where baby girl is, bitch, tell us your diet secret. Oh. Gemini says they had a fighting not only for her to lose that baby, but also to cover any bruising they were putting on her. Exactly, Gemini. Because they was beating the shit out of her. Gemini, they were beating the shit out of her. You hear me? I cry for this baby. And I don't make it a habit of going back and reviewing and replaying her videos. I don't do it because it does something to me. And when you look at them and you look at the bruises, they're so visible. The bruises are evident. And that's why I'm concerned. And I know it's a corruption somewhere. It's a corruption. Because with that baby showing up at the school every day, why was nothing done or even said about the bruises? Nothing was said about the bruises. And that baby had bruises, visible bruises. Shit is wicked. Rain says, I remember the text when NaZiyah asked Jarvis for a pregnancy test. And the same thing that was said about that pregnancy test, Shannon told Roxy that night, her and Mark D. Rain. You can't make this shit up. You just can't. And Rain is paying attention. This is what paying attention gets you, Rain. Because the text to Jarvis about the pregnancy test and the conversation in that kitchen, same fucking conversation. Miss Belinda says Kenneth is not serving the Most High God. His God is not the same God. And I said what I said. He's a demon along with the rest of them. Miss Belinda, you better say it. Because I'm not I'm not buying his shit. And whatever God he's serving, let them stay over there with that bullshit. Hmm. I went over and I looked at the pastor's or the pastor's name of the church that he belonged to. They were leaving comments. And evangelist Kenneth addressed the pastor the same way Shannon addressed the other pastor. Hey, Dad, what, my Lord, what pastor in his right mind? What pastor, what respectable pastor is going to have his congregation calling him daddy? I don't get it. Debbie says, I agree. No way their diabolical way of thinking can serve God. They're worshiping and following facts. Facts. Hey, Alicia. NaZiyah endured a lot. Tekka said, hi, Tekka. Tekka says, I think Shannon was sharing phones with baby girl, and that was the start to the motive. Made it look like NaZiyah. Made it look like NaZiyah. Justice for NaZiyah. We're going to find the truth through the lies. Oh, most definitely. We're going to find them. an adult competing with a teenager, that's diabolical. For real. Hey, Wayman. Ms. Mona says, I started from the start. So again, I'm new to the YouTube chats. Sorry if I'm all over the place. I'm learning. It's okay. It's okay. We're all learning together. Queen Spirit said an adult competing with a 13-year-old is absolutely insane, and it is. It is. Belinda says, Miss Parker, one day you said that NaZiyah was Cinderella. I believe this. Belinda, me too. Me too. I believe she was Cinderella. Nene stupid as hell. Nene says, hey, y'all, is Shannon on drugs too? Or is it just Lady and Mad Dog 2020? Hey, Tony. Oh, Lord. That girl's crazy. Kalia says, I pray and hope they did not give Shannon back her kids. Kalia, from what I've heard, Kalia, Shannon children were never gone. Shannon children were never gone. And the reason, like Kimberly says, the only reason NaZiyah got so caught up into Jarvis, fell in love with Jarvis. Jarvis was the only person out of that house of horrors that gave her attention, that showed her love. But Jarvis hadn't studied these people. Jarvis saw how they treated NaZiyah. Jarvis saw how they left her out like she was a sore thumb. They didn't treat her the same. So that was the perfect opportunity for him to move in and bait her the way he did. And we have to believe that this did not just start happening in 2022. NaZiyah lived with Shannon for quite some time before moving back to Annette's house. And that's where NaZiyah spent all her time. And if Jarvis had no problem molesting and giving a sexual disease to a 4-year-old, what makes y'all think NaZiyah got a pass and she was living under the same roof with him? Shannon is a bitch in every right. She's a piss poor mother. She's a sorry ass aunt. She's a despicable human being. Because what fucking mother in her right mind allows a man, I don't give a fuck who he is. Not only did you allow him to do the shit that he's done to your niece, but bitch, you even allowed this man to do that to his own biological fucking daughter. And you sit your bad shape ass there, bitch, and you said nothing. You done nothing. You watched it go on. And I'm in a place right now to where it's not even hard for me to believe you may have participated in some of that shit. Rain says, Kenneth sound like he's obsessed with Bari. He kept that baby's name in his mouth. Rain, he's still a sick man. I don't buy that evangelist shit. And the only reason I say I don't buy it, because listening to the little bit that I listen to, it appears to me that he's using God. He's using God's name to get away with the narrative that he's spinning. Hurricane says Evangelist was protecting his skeletons in the next closet, basement, and house. Oh, he got some there. And all this shit is a cover up. Nothing but a big fucking cover up. Right, Debbie? His allegiance is clearly for Annette. He made it, he pointed this out. This shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. Right, Pam? All the lies will eventually catch up with them. Miss Bill, MOCA ain't gonna say nothing for maybe 30 seconds to a minute. I ain't gonna say nothing for a few minutes, Miss Bill. I'm gonna sit this on a screen. I'm gonna sit it right there. Because this is where it's about to make sense, Miss Bill. But they think we're crazy. That's the distraction. That right there is the distraction. Now we're supposedly exchanging Frank for Kenneth. So they think. So they're sending two distractions. Two. Who's next? Who's next? Content creators, get prepared because they're coming. Exactly, Ray of fucking Sunshine. They didn't think you would get this far. Every time they open their mouth, they give us some more. Rock says that evangelist getting interviewed sounded like he was in the community. And was. And was. Kimberly says he kept saying that NaZiyah is doing what she wants and doesn't want to be found. He kept talking about ladies' addiction and Bari's preferences. That was the distraction. Because he was on that panel. And ain't but those three were in the hot seat. He deflected like a motherfucker. He said what he wanted to say. But then he took us across the river and through the woods and around the house and still ain't gave an answer. Aaron says NaZiyah may have been found sooner if they would have reported her missing instead of as a runaway. They did this on purpose. Oh, yes, and definitely on purpose, my love. No fucks given, my sis. Right, me? They're sending us decoys. They want us confused. But I don't know who they really think they're playing with. Kimberly says that hotel, I believe it has tunnels. Let me take a sip of water on this one. The hotel, I believe, has tunnels. What reason would that be for tunnels in that hotel if it wasn't for trafficking? African Americans ain't building no tunnel. Hell, in Detroit, they can't even own a business. So if there is a tunnel, I don't know. I can't confirm nor deny. But if there is a tunnel, it goes back to the kingfish. Every day, every day, every day, we got somebody missing. Every day. No Cap says the trial will be explosive, and I can't wait. We're just hearing the tip of the iceberg. I believe there's so much more that we're going to find out. No Cap, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Kalia says the more people that keep coming up and forward makes this case weirder and weirder. Kalia, that's the distraction. That's the distraction. Hey, sunshine, welcome, baby. Mika said Jarvis trying to figure out what he could plead with. He is never getting out of jail. So what can he bargain with? Well, we know he ain't never getting out. He ain't never getting out. But who knows? Who knows? And the only reason why I say who knows is because of this. In all of my earthly years, I have never met nor seen anyone that pick and choose when they want to turn himself in and go to jail. Why was Jarvis able to do that? Why was Jarvis why was he able to do that? So if Jarvis was able to pick and choose when he wanted to turn himself in, and it was okay with the courts, Jarvis told those people he couldn't turn himself in because he had some business to take care of. And it was acceptable by the courts. So now Just knowing that this was the situation, we got to look at the big fish. So I don't believe, even if he is convicted on those other charges that he has, Jarvis will walk free one day. He will definitely walk free. The big fish is going to see to it. Why? Because Jarvis got work to do. Jarvis got work to do. And just like politicians are being bought on payroll, Jarvis is still on payroll too. Jarvis is going to serve a little time. It ain't going to be much. Right, Top Flight. But the business was that blood test that never got done. But to blame the children and all of this shit, this is crazy. This shit is crazy. I am enough says the mean grandmother and the two ugly twin daughters. NaZiyah didn't have a chance. Mika says Jarvis participated in the homicide. He Googled the antifreeze abortion. I believe Jarvis participated and contributed. He had a part. Juanita says Nene at this point ain't no telling what Shannon into. You know what I mean? I don't put nothing past her. No, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Kimberly says Shannon's out here putting money on Jarvis' books, having phone birthday parties for him, paying him off for his help. They harmed that baby girl. Definitely. Definitely. And the sad part about it, she's doing all of this for Jarvis. But not one time during all of the rallies and all of the searching and all of what's going on social media for NaZiyah, these bitches have not uttered one word. Not one. Gemini says, Mocha, you said NaZiyah is around, and I knew the baby is. I believe, yes, NaZiyah is intelligent. I'm just trying to figure out when they gave the baby to Vari. Gemini, stop beating your brains with that one. Hey, Tony, welcome, my love. Gemini, stop beating your brains with that one, sis. Unless you find out something that Mocha don't know or Mocha haven't found out yet, that's not Vari's baby. That's not NaZiyah's baby that Vari has. Mm-mm. They can't make me believe that one. Sis says, I want to know who all the kids for. Evangelist name. He said NaZiyah. He said beauty. He said gorgeous and glamorous. I thought NaZiyah was glamorous. NaZiyah was glamorous. Maybe gorgeous was Shannon's daughter. Maybe beauty was the younger daughter. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't know. Lanya says, do y'all think NaZiyah went into premature labor because she didn't look full term? Maybe they panicked and had to act quickly. That's another theory. That's a thought. That's a thought. But I don't think that's the way it happened. But possibly. Debbie says her afterbirth is probably being stored in that scientific freezer. Girl, that freezer give me chills. Chills, I say. No Nonsense says if they took the baby from her, I'm sure they didn't do it right. So where did they take her to get her stitched up so she wouldn't bleed to death? No nonsense. Detroit has a history. I just did a story a couple of weeks ago of those in-home deliveries. They make these young girls ride it out. So they didn't have to take her nowhere to be stitched up. Christian says, I know where Shannon went to church at. And that father-daughter dance with Jarvis was at a church. Girl, stop. Girl, stop. Wow. Wow. Nene says Miss Parker asked all the right questions, but the man of the so-called cloth deflected and laughed throughout the interview. Girl, I caught him laughing on one. That was, he was cringe. But he made sure he covered her neck. Ms. Belinda says, I'll say it because the church, politics, police officers, and CPS is all involved. Trafficking go deep and it travels. Ms. Belinda, we're on the same page, sis. We're on the same page, Ms. Belinda. Ms. Mona says, told us never to lie because you always have to brace that lie for the rest of your life. Oh, Gary, rest in peace. And thank you for putting me on a game from a young age. You better believe it. Sassy says, it is possible that the baby received care because remember, 30 plus days passed before anyone started looking for NaZiyah. Sassy. Sassy. Now we thinking, sassy. It's possible. Very possible. Platinum says, talking about looking in all the wrong places, like he the one that got her. Or maybe that's the church we was talking about. Platinum. And I'm going to leave it right there. And we're going to pick up on this tomorrow. Platinum says, Evangelist says we were looking in all the wrong places. Like he the one that got her. Or maybe that's the church we were talking about. Platinum girl. Girl, you got me shaking my little paper. I'm looking on the paper like, bitch, you wrote this. Same shit Platinum just said. But when you look at the big fish has access to everything that's needed to take care of things that they don't want the outside world to be a part of. Big fish sent a midwife or a doctor to take care of the problem because they're all on payroll. Child. Gotcha says Detroit got plenty of abandoned spots to take her. Remember Jarvis kidnapping that other girl who told our story a few weeks ago. Gotcha, we go get into that one some more, a little deeper. Next week we going all in. So don't be surprised if a day comes where y'all see MOCA out here 2 times a day. If I got the time, I'll give y'all 2 lives in one day. But for now, we're going to end it here. It's been well over 3 hours. I have an early morning in the morning. And I just want to say, guys, I appreciate everyone that showed up. I appreciate all the cash apps. I appreciate the super stickers and the super chats. I appreciate you guys hitting that like button. But more so, I appreciate you guys for rocking with me, showing me love the way that you do. And we're not going to stop digging until we get to the bottom of all of this. We're here for NaZiyah and NaZiyah only. And we're not going to stop until we get the answers that we need. And not only NaZiyah, guys, but just recently, there's another missing teen in Detroit. 17-year-old London Thomas. We're going to look into that. Yes, Auntie Mo. One of the mods, please drop my email in the chat. Thank you, Auntie Mo. Like I said, guys, I appreciate you all. Appreciate you all. We're going to be back tomorrow, God's spare. Same time, same place, doing the same thing. Justice for NaZiyah. Justice for NaZiyah. And we're going to say her name. And we're going to continue to say her name. Something has to happen. Something definitely has to happen. Because there's no way a child can just come up missing. They don't just vanish into thin air. So we need answers. We want to know where she is. We do want to know. Guys, I love you all. Thank you all for another wonderful night. And we will be back. We will definitely be back with another one. And if you have not hit that like button, make sure you do so. Share the live. If you can subscribe, do that as well. And I want to thank I want to thank Gigi from the background in the clouds, wherever she may be, for the Cash App as well. So we're going to end out on
calls, all in signs, but y'all kept capping. All of y'all getting time and net. You mean spiteful witch? Let that baby suffer with a known ass pedophile bitch. I need to talk. That's all she said. Nobody did shit. Left school and that was it. Not saying you did it, but y'all ain't innocent. Where the fuck she at? Mocha's Nola Bells. We ain't finished. Roxy popped up like she been fam. Wanted to be seen. GoFundMe's, balloon games, t-shirts, flyers. Y'all moving strange. Say it loud, NaZiyah Harris, only 13. She deserved love, not damage. This that platinum plus pen for justice, for fire, and this pressure, it don't expire. We not done. We
thank you, Honey Mo.
Hey, where the fuck she at? Say it loud. NaZiyah Harris.
Mocha and the Nola Bells just pulled up. Big body bitches, Roxy, Annette, Shannon, Marquita. Where the fuck is NaZiyah? Hey, where NaZiyah? That baby was 13. Told her teacher I need to talk, then dipped off the scene. Sick on the floor, y'all ain't even blink. Now she gone and we demand a link.
Where the fuck she?
She cried for help, so sad. Y'all played it small, whole system call. Y'all let that girl fall. CPS fake, that's fake. The school ain't care. Called y'all up, nobody was there.
We see.
Now she missing. Now y'all press, she been dying inside while y'all just guessed. You failed her, Jarvis locked, lock 'em all up. That's just a start. He know the dirt, he played a part. Shannon, sis, that's still your blood. You sat back till her time was up. Annette, Roxy, Marquita too, y'all moving funny. 4 fat bitches equal dummy. All them calls, all them signs, but y'all kept capping. All of y'all getting time. Annette, you mean spiteful witch? Let that baby suffer with a known ass pedophile bitch. Who's that? Nah, Marquita, y'all slow head twins look like pain, bitch. This ain't never gonna end. Y'all cap real bad, posting online. What did y'all do? What did she say to you? No BK. I need to talk. That's all she said. Nobody did shit. Left school and that was it. Not saying you did it, but y'all ain't innocent. Where the fuck she at? Mocha's Nola Bells. We ain't finished. Roxy popped up, bitch, sit down. Like she been fam, wanted to be seen. GoFundMe's, balloon games, t-shirts, flyers. Y'all moving strange. Now you say it loud, NaZiyah Harris, only 13. She deserved love, not damage. This that platinum plus pen for justice, for fire, and this pressure, it don't expire. We not done.
Good night, everybody. See you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Love you all. Have a blessed night.